Man, I don't know. I'm just feeling really stuck lately. I don't know. This will probably be some rambling bullshit, but that's why I'll post it to my second channel that, as the last time I checked, has less than 30 subscribers. Not that my main channel has any significant amount of subscribers either, but more than this. Honestly, I was thinking about whether I should make this second channel more kind of like capsule movie reviews, stuff like that, like little 5 to 10 minute no editing, no clips movie reviews and other media type stuff. But I don't know who really cares, and maybe start a third channel that I can dump just like be like a computer diary vlogs and stuff on. But who really cares? I don't know, but man, I feel kind of stuck. I don't know, I haven't been accomplishing much of anything lately, even though I've had the free time to do so. I don't have any kind of bustling social life or tons of engagements to get to or a child to take care of. I have cats to take care of, but as long as you scoop that litter box, they mostly manage themselves. But I don't know, I'm 37 years old now, getting up there. I mean, I don't know. I don't worry too much about aging per se. I mean, I guess I worry about, the end point of aging, aka death, I worry about that. But, I guess I've been I'll give myself the smidgen of credit that I've more or less taken care of myself physically. I try to do some cardio, and I guess I don't have much of a sweet tooth, so that helps. I don't have any massive urge to binge eat candy or ice cream or cookies or what else do sugar addicts, chocolate, I don't know. So not to say that I have the world's healthiest eating habits by any means, but if I'm gonna snack on junk food that does nothing to improve my health, it's usually like a savory stuff, like crack, like chips or Cheez-It crackers, probably my favorite. But I don't overeat, I try to do some cardio, so I've more or less taken care of my health. Wouldn't say that I'm fit per se, if I made a muscle, no one's gonna go like, ooh, that's really impressive, but it's not. But at the same time, I've taken good enough care of my health that, by the standards of the United States, I'm probably healthier than a lot of people 10 years younger than me. And I've also not particularly gone bald or anything. There's a little bit, if I had to lift up the front of my hair, you can see some thinning, but there's no maybe there's a dime size, like bald patch if you were to literally look straight down the top of my head from a bird's eye view. But major hair loss, no, I've avoided it up to this point. Little bit of wrinkliness around the eyes maybe, but aging wise, like I said, even if all that stuff was worse, I wouldn't care that much. Who cares? But there are significant failures that I feel kind of down on myself about. I discussed this in a previous vlog, I think it was called On Turning 37, which that was half a year ago now. I'm already half a year towards 38, but 40's barreling in pretty quick now, and I can honestly say that up to this point in my life, I have never earned a single dollar in income from doing anything that I actually cared about being accomplished in any level beyond the fact that I happen to get paid to do it. Never earned a single dollar doing anything I found interesting or enjoyed or felt passionate about or felt driven to raise up in the field of or achieve things. I mean, I don't want to make it sound like I work in the fucking coal mines or anything, I'd rather be doing anything I've done for a living than being, a frontline soldier getting shot at or doing, scooping shit out of a ditch, obviously. But I've never found any of it interesting either, even when it theoretically intersected with things I found interesting. Time I worked, I would have thought that I'd find journalism interesting, but the time I briefly worked at a newspaper, I didn't find it particularly engaging or interesting either. It was mostly just bullshit fluff piece write-ups about stuff that I couldn't give a shit about. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's mentally wrong with me. I mean, like a lot of nerdy people, I'm probably to some mild extent kissed by the Tism fairy. not to a severe extent, I don't think, because I knew someone in high school. And this was like I said, I'm 37 now, so this was a while ago. This was double, like less than half my age length ago. Someone who's a senior in high school now was not yet born at the time I was graduating high school. So this was a while back, before I guess it went mainstream. But I knew someone who had, I don't think they used the word autism. I think they used the word Asperger's. And so this was before it was a trend, I guess you could say. So I don't doubt the legitimacy of the psychological diagnosis that they'd received. One thing I remember noting even at the time, as like fairly socially awkward nerd myself, as like, age 16, 17, 18, they had the ability to not be able to read when other people had no fucking interest whatsoever in whatever they were talking about. So he'd, go up to, me and my kind of social circle, go up to us and start monologuing about whatever niche interest he had, unable to derive the fact from our body language, tone of voice, facial expression that we weren't interested. But he would also go up to the most popular kids in school, the head cheerleader, the jocks, whatever, the preppy kids, and start talking about the same stuff with the same total lack of awareness that they weren't interested. And so that's kind of always how I've perceived the autism spectrum to be, is the inability to tell if someone doesn't give a shit. I don't really suffer from that. If anything, I'm almost the hard opposite. I'm hyper aware of other people's reactions and any hint of dissent. So that's why whenever I'd have jobs throughout my life, I would present a very blank slate, almost a robotic, a lack of any personality. Like I would never speak to coworkers about any actual hobbies or interests of mine. Like, what am I in? Like, fantasy novels and fantasy fiction, RPG, video games, that kind of stuff. I would, you could probably quiz people I knew for years at jobs about what I'm interested in, and they wouldn't be able to tell you any of that, because I just kept it to James Bond, for example. Yeah, no one I worked with ever knew anything about me, because I would basically present myself as a robot who arrived, performed tasks, and then departed with no hint that I have any thoughts about anything happening in the world, or the issues of the day, or hobbies, or fields of interest. I presented myself because I just feel like when I expose, anything that I'm actually interested in or passionate about, any flicker of disinterest or boredom in anyone's face toward it, I was hyper aware of, right? So I just almost maybe overcompensated or overreacted to that by presenting myself as someone with no interests or passions or points of view or hobbies about anything. We can chat about the traffic and the weather. That's pretty much as far as you would ever get from me. Fell off on kind of a tangent there, but I guess what I'm thinking is I don't think, because of that, I don't think I'm particularly anywhere on the autism spectrum, except for maybe the fact that I tend to get hyper focused on things that I'm interested in or passionate about. But yeah, where was I even on before I got off on that tangent? So yeah, I've never done anything I'm interested in professionally in my entire life, and that does suck, doesn't it? I've had a similar kind of idea for what I wanted to do basically since I was go back to 11, 12 years old. I've always wanted to be a fantasy novelist. That's always been a thing. I've had other there was a phase, and maybe I'll do future videos on this, future vlogs I should say, a phase of about 3 years or so, kind of in college age, early 20s, around the time when Arrested Development and The Office and 30 Rock were airing, I thought I had this idea that I wanted to be a sitcom writer or a sitcom creator, and me and my college roommates even filmed a sitcom pilot. We had auditions, we got actors, we had a full script, characters, an outline for hypothetically what would happen after the pilot. We it was like a high school thing. We drove to a high school like an hour away with like actors, cameramen, like some lighting equipment. We spent like 5 days of filming like a high school sitcom pilot. So I was like really into this idea. I wrote spec scripts for TV shows. Like I wrote a 30 Rock spec script, and Chuck, if anyone remembers that show with Zachary Levi. He's canceled now, right? For some stupid bullshit. Yeah, that spy action comedy show, Chuck, I wrote a spec script for that. A couple others, I think, also. Yeah, I had this idea that I wanted to be a sitcom writer, but I don't know, that idea kind of fell through, even though I was pretty passionate about it for a few years. Like, I worked on it. Like, I read comedy writing books. I took a class, practice writing sitcom scripts, both original and spec scripts. But yeah, that idea kind of fell through. But one thing I've always, I would say, getting close to 30 years now, been passionate about is being a fantasy novelist. Like, I've plotted out so many like ideas and series, and I don't want to say I've made no more. I mean, I have what do you call it, a manuscript sitting here on this laptop I'm talking into right now. That's comes out to probably like 800 pages paperback, but I just need to buckle down and and I haven't really, I don't know what I've been doing the last 5-6 months. I just haven't like done any editing on it, even though it drastically needs editing. I had like terrible, I don't know if you call it writer's block exactly, for close to a year. The reason I say I don't know if you call it writer's block is because I did have the entire story outlined down to the last scene. I knew everything that would happen, the sequence of events, all the character arcs. I just, for some reason, I couldn't like get fingers to keyboard. I don't know. So it sucked for a long time, and I kept like planning out what I would do on my days off, and then I just get sucked into, I think it's important that I just stay off all social media, because like I said, I had to have an addictive type of personality. So I'll just, if I look at any social media, I'll just end up like reloading it over and over and over. And I think I just need to absolutely cold turkey 100% totally cut off from all of that, except like YouTube, I guess, which is social media-ish. I don't spend that much time commenting or anything, or I just basically like watch videos, and if I like them, I like them. But yeah, I think I need to cold turkey cut off social media, because I'm sure I wasted so much time looking at, I'm talking about hundreds of hours just that I should have been using being productive about things I actually care about. And video game addiction is a bad thing too. I mean, I guess it's not as bad for me as some people. Like, I don't do any MMORPGs or any of those battle royale games. Is that what you call them? Yeah, obviously I'm kind of a boomer when it comes to games nowadays, but I do get sucked into a lot of single player game RPGs. I just finished one actually. Chained Echoes was called. Maybe I'll do a quick review of that sometime soon on the channel too. The second channel, I mean, not my main channel, because I didn't take any footage of it or anything. But yeah, I don't know. I keep telling myself I don't think I need to cold turkey video games. Probably I should, but maybe if I set like a hard limit, like let's say like 30 minutes a day would probably be a reasonable amount. Like literally, like if I'm doing a gaming session, I'll set a 30-minute timer on my phone, and the second it beeps, no matter what, if I'm in the middle of a boss fight, whatever, pause, like that's it for the day, no more, hard cutoff, something like that. I shouldn't set any limits like that for like social media though. I should pretty much totally cold turkey that, I think. But yeah, so maybe this is what the purpose of this meaningless, rambling, stupid vlog that no one's ever gonna listen to is I should definitely like cut off social media, try to cut off internet procrastination during the day as much as possible, like limit like YouTube watching to like nighttime, set pretty hard limits that I stick to on video games. And, I should shit, man, I don't know, my initial goal, which now seems comical, was to have this novel I've been working on, Six Swords on Silver Hill, it's called, to have it 100% completed in 2021. And I don't mean the draft, I mean fully edited 100% by me, by maybe a professional editor to look at it, cover art, 100% absolutely out of my hands, done, e-published at least, if not try to get it printed somehow, to have that 100% done by the end of 2021. Now we're heading well. It's not the beginning of 2023 anymore. I think once you're down to late February, the year is underway. Like, and I'm still like staring at it, and I've kind of, despite the fact that, you know, it's a story I've been working on for so long, I've almost come to resent it as like the obstacle. So I think I need to set an amount of time, even if it's as little as 2 hours a day, basically like 7 days a week. I need to be working on this. I need to consider it like as a job if I'm in any way serious about it. So I need to be doing it every day. 3 hours would be better. I don't know if I can realistically carve that much time out every day. Yeah, so, and I'd like to do more on my main channel, the Tim's Quest YouTube channel too. I have some, I don't know, lately in terms of YouTube watching, I've become less interested in the kind of like just pumping out the sludge, the daily sludge channels, which is obviously what I'm doing with this vlog here, but I don't consider this my real channel, this one I'm posting on. I found this video that kind of inspired me. I think I found it in December. It was, I'll link down to it in the description here. I can't even remember off the top of my head what the channel was called, but it was a, I think, 7-hour retrospective of the entire Castlevania video game series. And I thought that was pretty cool. And I was like, man, this is good stuff, you know. And so I think I'd be more interested in try to do more long form content on the main channel. The only issue is I'm not necessarily 7 hours, but maybe like 1 hour, 2 hour videos. They're more kind of scripted out and properly edited. Only problem is then the amount of content would be very intermittent. So I don't know. Like, for example, I've been reading the James Bond novels, and I thought it'd be cool to review those. And I wouldn't be the first person on YouTube to do that by any means. Other channels have done that, especially like James Bond centered channels. But what if I was to like maybe read all of them, at least all the Ian Fleming ones, that is to say, and do like a mega, like, you know, a 60-minute, 90-minute video reviewing every single thing. Only problem is then the content would be pretty scattershot. Or that's not the right word. Like, I don't know, but at the same time, like, can you even build a channel doing that kind of thing? So maybe like every month there could be like one long video, then short videos in between. I don't know. So that's like a secondary goal of mine, but I guess I should be spending a couple hours a day on that too. But I don't know. Yeah, I just need to try to limit my procrastination and my time wasting, because yeah, it was one thing when I was like, you know, 21 or whatever, like, oh, I got to get on these tasks. I got to start making moves towards these goals. But at this point, you know, I'm, yeah, you know, theoretically, I'm like, you know, 28 years from being a senior citizen, right? And I still haven't made any meaningful or important moves towards anything, towards any actual like goals I ever had set out for myself in life. Like, yeah, I've never had a job I actually gave a shit about. Like, never. Yeah, it's kind of upsetting and depressing looking at it. Like, I mean, I'm not the most, I guess, you know, compared to a lot of other people in the world and throughout history, I have a reasonable amount of money in savings. You know, it's in the low 5 figures. I'm at no risk of ending up homeless or starving. I have enough entertainment on hand to lie down and rot with forever. So compared to some, I guess I'm doing well enough, but I have other goals I wanted to make moves toward in life that I definitely have not in any way, shape, or form. Like I said, I think I was literally probably 12 years old when I started. I mean, I think I was not even 10 yet. I think I was probably 9 years old when I first wrote out the shitty quote-unquote fantasy novel that was like probably like 20 pages long. I wish I could find that, actually. I can't even remember what it was called. The Magic Crystal or something like that. Yeah, it was kind of like ripping off kind of like some what's the author's name? Bruce Coville, I think. Like, he wrote I think the books were like Dragon Slayer and Dungeon in the Castle. Did he also write the My Teacher Was an Alien books? I think I'm right about that. If I'm wrong, I'll put a note on the video here, but I believe I'm right. I was kind of ripping off his style in his books then. So but I was not much older than that. Certainly within junior high, like no later than like 7th grade when I started like mapping out like fantasy sagas I wanted to write. So it's kind of pathetic that we're essentially a quarter of a century later and I've yet to really properly finish a single thing. So like, I don't know, man. I gotta stop. Internet addiction has definitely kind of ruined my life to some extent. I don't want to be over dramatic when I say ruin my life. Like I'm in a perfectly solid state right now, a solid state of being. Like, I'm not gonna end up homeless. I'm not gonna starve to death. I could technically go out and afford anything I wanted to within, reason right now. Not that I will, because I'm naturally very frugal. That's one thing I've never struggled with. I never struggled with, some people really struggle with budget. They really struggle with saving money. I never have. Whenever I am comfortably employed, the money accumulates pretty quickly. Just because I don't have any expensive hobbies, I don't have any expensive needs. I guess that's another thing I should be thankful for. I have no real medical needs. Like, I've been to the doctor. I went to the dentist last year to get a crown because one of my teeth formed kind of like this hollow indentation on it. Kind of a painful process. They had to give me some shots in my gums. That sucked, and shave my tooth down. And then they put a temporary crown on made of, I guess you would call it, made of a wall. It was made of plaster, which fell apart after like 3 days. But then they put the one made of toilet, the porcelain crown on there. And it's been pretty solid ever since. I never felt it wiggle or move or anything. Just seems to be a normal tooth now. But yeah, outside of that, I went to get a tetanus shot in 2017 when I stepped on a nail. That was a little bit painful. Outside of that, I think the last time I went to a doctor was probably like 2004 or something like that. And perfectly good health, so I have good health to be thankful for also. So what tangent what did this even spin off from, this line of thought? I don't know. So, not needing much money for anything. Don't have any particularly expensive hobby. I mean, like, I buy a video game now and then, but I'm not too arsed to always buy the latest AAA release. In fact, sometimes when I do, I barely even get around to it. Like, I bought Elden Ring back when it came out because of all the hype, and still I put like 1 hour into it the day I bought it to see that it worked, but I still have not played beyond that point, still even now. So everyone's the best game ever, the best game of the year. I'm like, I don't know. I went out, I said, ooh, the glowing tree is pretty, and that's about as far as I still ever played with it. So, but yeah, most of my time I spend like reading books, of which I have probably over 100 I own that I haven't read yet, or watching like YouTube. So I don't have any expensive hobbies. Don't eat out at expensive restaurants ever, really. I don't travel much. Maybe I'd like to sometime later this year, but even then, probably will be by car, won't be by plane. So I don't feel any need to buy the newest, fanciest gadgets. So the money naturally stacks up pretty quick for me. So I don't know. And then what did that entire line of thought even spin off of? I don't know. Just I need to buckle down on things if I want to ever achieve anything in life. Because, like I said, I've had the same kind of like hypothetical dream of being a fantasy novelist for a quarter of a century now. That's not like saying you've had a dream for like 1 or 2 years and haven't made moves on it. A quarter of a century is a healthy percentage of a human being's life from birth to death. And I still haven't made any, I shouldn't say I haven't made any meaningful moves towards accomplishing a goal. Like I said, I have a novel written, not finished, I don't think of it, because from everything from lore stuff that I invented towards the latter half of the novel and differing character stuff to basically just cleaning up sentences, cutting things down a lot, making sure the grammar is all in order. At least one chapter think needs kind of a ground up rewrite because I changed too much lore stuff to where it doesn't even make sense anymore. So I don't consider the novel finished. I think that if I started working on it for like 3 hours a day, I could probably have it finished, let's say 2 months from as I speak. So I think I need to just start doing that. Yeah, and I also want to try to upload more videos to my main channel because I don't, by the terrible standards of my channel, where sometimes videos would peak at 30 views. I had a video about the Willow novelization last few months ago that did pretty good. Like, it had 30 some odd likes, which is pretty good. So I probably should have started uploading more frequently, literally immediately after that, to capitalize on the tiny amount of momentum that might have given me. But no, I'm basically, that's all. That momentum is certainly all gone, so I'm basically going to be doing the equivalent of starting a new channel again at this point, but I should probably try to start working on that too. So yeah, so what is it? We're almost 50 days into this year. I guess now I'm going to make my New Year's resolutions. Most people, their resolution needs to be health or fitness or weight related. I don't have much to work on there. I'll just try to, like I said, I don't have much of a sweet tooth, so weight gain's never much of an issue for me, so I don't have much to work on there, so I don't really have any resolution there. If my body looks the way it looks now until I'm a gray old man, that's pretty much fine with me. Yeah, it's fine. I don't really I have no resolutions in terms of my fitness or health. I don't really care. So I guess let's lay out some resolutions for 2023 here. So self-discipline things. I think I need to spend vastly less time wasting time on the internet reloading the same set websites, some of which it's like a bizarre OCD thing. I think if I have any spectrum I'm on, it's probably less the autism spectrum and more the OCD spectrum, because I have websites that in some cases literally update less than once a month. Like, some websites upload like a few times a year. I keep saying upload like it's YouTube. Update. I have websites that update a few times a week, a few times a month, some a few times a year. I'm still like reloading them like 5 times a day. I don't know what that's about, what kind of OCD that is. I think I need to scale my internet procrastination down literally 95%, or not even. It's something that should be done like at night, like when I'm easing into bed, when I'm in the last half hour as I move towards sleep, which my sleep issues, that's a whole other thing. I'm pretty fucking goddamn deep into the insomnia spectrum, if that's a thing. I'll make more videos about that in the future, my sleep hygiene and sleep habits. But yeah, I should try to limit internet procrastination, like maybe 1 or 2 sites I could check first thing in the morning. After that, I should probably try to keep all reloading of websites and to like nighttime, right? That would make a lot more sense. So that's goal number 1, New Year's resolution number 1. Late New Year's resolution. Hard, cold turkey cutoff on all social media, that is Reddit, Twitter, anything else along those lines. Fortunately, I'm not a TikTok addict. I downloaded it once, looked at it for like 10 minutes, and I was like, nah, not for me, and deleted it off my phone. Cold turkey off those social media platforms, except for YouTube, which I don't use as social media per se, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think I'm going to try to limit video gaming to 30 minutes a day. Hard cut off, 30 minutes and 0 seconds. And that'll include like multiplayer gaming and so those are kind of some time limiting goals. Internet procrastination, keep it pretty much to right before what should be bedtime at least. After I've taken my ZQL, or I buy the store brand. I think it's called like Equate Sleep Aid or something like that. Hard cold turkey cut off of all social media. Sharply limit all video gaming. Let's say 30 minutes a day. So that's kind of like my time-saving New Year's goals. So New Year's resolution number 2, which will be aided in turn by resolution number 1, which is why I put number 1 first, would be to, and not by December, let's say by June 1st at the soonest, at the latest, I mean, have this first novel of this fantasy series I've been working on, Six Swords on Silver Hill, 100% completely, totally done, published if possible. At the very least, no more writing work on it. I think that's a reasonable... I think if I truly buckled down to the extent I should, I could probably be done with that by like 2 months from now, by like, what, April 19th that would be. I'm recording this on February 19th. So I'll even stretch that a little bit to say like June 1st. I should... maybe I'm still working on the map at the front at that point, or the cover art or something, but like no more words in the book should need to be edited after that point. And I already have a second book in the series, like half planned out. Like I have to adjust certain things. I'm not sure about certain things in it, but I do know the bulk of the story start to finish. So really, I should say I should have the first draft of that done by like New Year's Day 2024. Maybe there'll be some editing after that point, but yeah, like I don't know what a good... I feel like if I say I'm going to work on it for 4 hours a day, 7 days a week, that's definitely not going to happen. So I feel like I should set out as like a tentative goal to work on it for 2 hours a day, 7 days a week minimum, with days that I have extra time. Yeah, maybe another 2 hours, or like 3 hours or 4 hours if I have the time, which I should have if I'm going to cut off my social media and 90% of internet procrastination and, most of my gaming time down to 30 minutes a day. I feel like I should have time to most days do at least 3 hours. Yeah, like 20 hours a week I think is a reasonable goal. Yeah, if I was actively in the process of writing, if I'm averaging 500 words an hour, that would be, what, 10,000 hours of writing? 10,000 words, 10,000 hours of writing a week. Yeah, that would be a miracle if I started going through time wormholes as such. Like 10,000 words a week. That would be more if you were writing, which I'm not really doing anymore in this novel. I'm editing, but like I said, I would like to be well into like the second novel by the end of this year, if not have a draft completely in the books, which I really should if I'm putting that many words a week down. I don't know, actually, because the first draft of this novel came out to 280,000 words roughly. So if I started like in June writing 10,000 words a week, well, no, that would be 30 weeks left in the year, right? 28 weeks. So if I was doing 10,000 words a week, yeah, that would be manageable. For some reason, I was counting it wrong in my head, thinking, yeah, it was half a year, it would be 26 weeks. Add June to that, that would make it 30 weeks. So yeah, that'd be enough time to write 300,000 words of a hypothetical second novel, which I'd like to bring it in under that, because one of the main problems with this first novel is that I overwrote, and now I have to cut it down pretty substantially. Like, cutting it down under 200,000 words just isn't going to happen. There's just too much. But if I could cut it down to like 230, that'd be pretty good. Still a stretch. I would have to cut like 1,000 words out of basically each chapter. Like, the shortest chapters aren't even 1,000 words, so that wouldn't happen. But then again, a couple chapters are... Like, I have one chapter that's 10,000 words that I would really like to cut down to like 7,000 if I can. It's way too... it drags on way too much. It's kind of an action scene, most of it, but at that point, I think you would not even be engaged in the action anymore. You'd be like, let's just shut up and move on with this. So cut that chapter down a lot. So what did I say? Resolution number 1. I mean, I would lump all procrastination elimination together under one heading of resolution number 1, cutting back internet, cutting off social media completely, cold turkey, as of when I hit stop recording on this video. Cut video gaming down to half hour a day. Then resolution number 2, call this the half year resolution, is have Six Swords on Silver Hill done. at least ever the entire body of the novel. And be well underway in the next book. So we'll say 2 hours a day minimum on it, with, if the time is available, which it should be if I'm doing all that time-saving stuff in Resolution 1. Go to 3, 4, maybe even 5 hours a day. I feel like at that point, I'd start to mentally peter out on that. And then we'll also do Resolution 3 is try to upload, how about we'll throw out a number? How about we'll say 20 videos on my main Tim's Quest channel. I feel like they might not all be epics, but I'd like to have at least a few be kind of, because like I said, the YouTube channels that actually are grabbing my attention these days are the ones that are doing feature-length things. Like I mentioned, that channel that uploaded the 7-hour Castlevania retrospective, and I thought that was really cool. And also there's another channel, Running Shine, I want to say that was what it was called, that I've just been watching these last few weeks, that had 2-hour videos on stuff like Ocarina of Time. And obviously my channel isn't a gaming channel, so it's kind of funny that I'm making those gaming comparisons. I don't know, maybe I'll try to do a review of Tears of the Kingdom on that channel. Then again, I think 10,000 other channels also do that same thing, so maybe not. But yeah, mostly the main focus of the main Tim's Quest channel is going to be the fantasy genre. Mostly fantasy book reviews, probably some fantasy TV show reviews, and fantasy film reviews. Maybe also dip into kind of the spy action genre, just to spoil what's on the Tim's Quest channel for, the 2 people who ever watched this vlog. One thing I definitely want to do later in the year is a full ranking of the James Bond film series, as a big video, that's talking about 5 minutes for each film, which, as you know, there's over 20 films, so that'd be a pretty long video. And maybe some other stuff like that, like I talked about reviewing the James Bond novels, and maybe dip into some other spy action stuff like Mission Impossible. I don't know, but the main focus will be fantasy. Maybe go a little into sci-fi. No superheroes. No, I have no interest in. That's so saturated in terms of internet movie discussion and YouTube reaction videos and reviews, and here's the latest news about Ant-Man 3. No, that would have no interest whatsoever in doing. In fact, I'm just going to pretend superheroes don't exist on my main channel. Well, maybe that's not true. I'm sure I'll make a comparison. I'm sure I'll have to compare a villain to the Joker at some point, but I won't do any reviews of any DC or Marvel movies or TV shows on my main channel. That I have zero interest in. But beyond that, I have pretty good number of ideas, so I just kind of rambled on here. So how about we'll say 20 videos. I'd hope to start at the beginning of March. I haven't decided. I want to kind of have a set day of the week that I upload on. I haven't decided it's Sunday or Friday is better. I'm kind of leaning towards Friday, but we'll see. So how about that? Resolution number 1, hard limits on the internet and video game time. Stop procrastinating, stop wasting time doing fucking nothing. Resolution number 2, finish this book, not at the end of the year, but towards the middle of the year, let's say, and immediately outline and then dive into book 2, because, you can't be a fantasy novelist if you don't actually write books, right? So I like to start making progress on that pretty quickly, because, I'm starting this way too late in life. I have awareness of that, and I guess I should be thankful that I'm not financially pressed at the moment, and I have no children to take care of yet, so I do have the time to work on that. So resolution 2, finish the book. Isn't there a website, Finish the Book George, about George R. R. Martin? We'll call this resolution. Resolution 1, stop wasting time on internet and video games. Resolution 2, finish the book, Tim. Resolution 3, let's call it upload 20 videos to my main Tim's Quest channel for the rest of the year, and I'd like to start the first week of March, because I'm editing something now that I'd like to have up first week of March, and 20 videos. I think that's a perfectly reasonable goal. So My New Year's resolutions. That's what this video turned into. Not what I had intended to turn it into when I hit record. I just more intended to ramble about my kind of disappointments, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I am disappointed in how little I've accomplished the last like 6 months since I did finish the book draft, but I didn't accomplish that much else. Mostly because I kept getting sucked into video games. What all did I play? Like I replayed GoldenEye when it came out on the Nintendo Switch Online the other month, and that was fun. I don't consider that too much of a failure because I didn't spend that much time on it. I played this RPG, Chained Echoes. Another RPG, Rise of the Third Power. I replayed some games too. I can't remember off the top of my head. I replayed Super Mario RPG. I played The Mummy Demastered. A few other Metroidvanias, I think. That's like the two game genres I just hop between endlessly are JRPGs and Metroidvanias. Sneak in the occasional platformer or first-person shooter, but mostly I just hop between JRPGs and Metroidvanias. Just kind of alternate the two, basically. But yeah, I don't know, man. Way too much wasting time with silly bullshit that, I don't know. I guess, be grateful for what you have. Like I said, I know a lot of people have more financially pressing issues than me, have more health concerns than I do, have terminal diseases, have all kinds of health problems, have to spend a ton of money and time at the hospital, even at my age, even in their 30s, have 4 kids to take care of, so they have to work 100 hours a week. I don't have any problems like that. I don't have to work 100 hours a week. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of like, it's just kind of this general malaise, just kind of a general dissatisfaction, just kind of a low-level depression. It's kind of like, I feel like I need to confront it this year. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, notice that none of my goals involve, most people's goals are traveling, social maxing, I don't really have any of that. I don't know. I tend to find most social maxing kind of tedious, and I'm usually just thinking about, just distracted by other things in my head. So yeah, I don't have any no travel goals. maybe it'll happen. Like I said, I can technically afford it. I can't afford to stay at the 5-star hotels, every night, but a little bit of gas, some cheap hotels, a few amusements, I could afford that. But yeah, so gosh, I've been talking for almost 45 minutes. Certainly no one will listen to this. No one would have any interest in listening to all this, so I'm just talking to myself at this point. But that's fine. So yeah, resolutions. Stop wasting time on internet and TV. Finish the book 10. Upload 20 videos. I think that's a reasonable set of goals for what do I have left in the year? Over 300 days left in the year. And to kind of subcategorize those goals, let's say, because I set specific times and goals for the stop wasting time goal, let's say 2 hours a day, 7 days a week on the book, with more time, which I should have if it's available. And let's say also probably 2 hours a day, maybe not 7 days a week, but like 6 days a week. I'm working on those videos. Maybe give myself Friday, quote unquote, off. Although, if I have the time, So, yeah, those seem like a reasonable set of goals. So, yeah, I just gotta make something happen because, yeah, I'm not making any moves towards anything I care about at this point, which is kind of sucks. I don't know. Like, it makes me understand why people pop out kids. Certainly, if I had a child, that would give a goal I'd be forced to work for, But I'm not really driven to do that yet. Anyway, even though I am older now than like my parents were when they had me. And yeah, nothing on that front yet. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I didn't in any way hit start recording on this with the intention of it being a New Year's resolutions video. Hey, a late New Year's resolutions video. But I just kind of rambled my way into that place. But yeah, I just have to stop wasting time because time it keeps ticking. Like I said, I'm fortunate enough that I don't see the result in that too much on my body yet. You know, I have no gray hairs. I'm not balding quite yet. We'll see what happens in the next 5-10 years. Maybe in 10 years I will have glasses and I will be covered in wrinkles and I will have the George Costanza hairline. Could be, but I would happily take all that if I could like have a few books out, you know, that you could order on Amazon. You could order a nice paperback copy of, and maybe have some other basic creative goals accomplished, because I just don't give a shit about anything I'm kind of doing, which is I feel like there's no way to go through life. I don't know, gotta be passionate about something, so I have to find those things and kind of try to latch onto them and achieve something within them. Just achieve something. Doesn't even have to be something spectacular. Just achieve something. So I don't know. Rambled on a lot. I had hit record with the intention of this being a 10-minute video and sailed by that. So I guess I'll wrap it up here. But yeah, and I'm not going to set this as a New Year's resolution because I don't think it's important, because I don't have any interest really in growing this channel, this second channel, Tim's Second Quest. But I have a few ideas for little videos I like to make here, which I will try to actually keep to 10 minutes, unlike this video. Well, maybe not 10 minutes. The game I just finished playing, Chained Echoes. Maybe try to do a review on that. Maybe a few other vlogs, talk more about my insomnia issues. Maybe looked back at some of my 90s fan fiction a few months ago. Maybe I'll try to look back at some of my 90s websites I made on GeoCities, because I still have those archived. Maybe look over some of that. Maybe some short thoughts on some other issues. Yeah, but so maybe if anyone is interested in this channel, which I doubt, but if they are, I'll keep it up and maybe toss a video or two a week on here too. But my main focus will be on those other goals. And the time I'm carving out of my video gaming and internet and procrastination, I should be able to refocus onto achieving creative goals that I actually give a shit about. And so guess that's about it for now. Later, everyone.